years ago, and that's a really uncommon one that has really taken off well and hosts a bunch of caterpillars.
So these blueberries, they're holding out with the salt spray and being exposed.
Surprisingly, yeah, that was one of the experiments. I wasn't sure it was going to make it, but we get pretty direct wind since I'm out in the front of the house here. We get kind of a straight shot of wind down the road.
And you mulched it pretty heavy to
mulched it pretty heavy with the pine bark to keep the acid pretty high, and same thing with the palmetto. It didn't do good for the first 6 months or so. Once I got into this growing season, it really started to put on a bit of new growth. Most all of these tips are new growth, so next spring they will have flowers on all the new growth and produce berries, and I'll eat what the birds don't get. Otherwise, it's here for them.
So over here, is this kind of what started it all?
This was one of the earlier. I planted the magnolia years ago. This was one of the, it was definitely the largest plant that I bought, and planted it, and then I just started filling in around this with kind of stuff that was left over. I didn't have a particular spot in the yard to do anything with. Surface stuff. As far as the only thing exotic in here is this Asian crinum lily, which will meet its maker sometime soon. But other than that, these are just plants that I had sitting around that I didn't have a particular spot for, so I just kind of jam them in here and create a thicket.
I see a lot of coffee everywhere. Did you plant them, or they just grew?
They just grew. Yeah, they just grew on their own, and I chop them down sometimes to about probably once every 2 years. I'll chop them down to about knee high and let it grow back. But I hate to chop anything in here because so many birds, like especially the mockingbirds, hang out in here, and you'll hear them chirping in there. And the rabbits use it kind of as a shelter because it's so dense. Nothing can come in here as far as predators, no hawks or owls.
Maybe the wild lime.
Yeah, the wild lime keeps me out along with everything else.
But you put that as a host plant?
Yeah, just as a host plant for the butterflies. It's one of the best hosts for the giant swallowtail. So I've kind of let it do its thing just because it's providing something. But I end up having it starts to look ratty and things out here in the yard. It makes it hard to walk around here without ripping your ear open. So it needs another big cut, but I don't want to remove it completely because it's providing something. Resources.
Oh, yep,
yeah,
it's got me on the hat.
Yeah. That's why. And a lot of this other stuff is just, like I said, just stuff that I just filled in. I found somebody that was selling some hot bush when I was down in the Keys. It's a real unusual plant, and the cardinals like the seeds, but and some bees go for the flowers, but it's not an overly pretty plant in any way, but it's unusual and adds to the diversity.
So how old's this torchwood right here?
That torchwood's I planted it about 4 or 5 years ago, probably 5 years ago.
And that's another host for the
giant swallowtail. Yep. And down in the Keys, and it's a host for the shelf swallowtail, which is a very rare endangered butterfly down there that probably did exist up here at one point, but we don't know for sure. So I'm trying to plant as many of them as I can. So it hosts the giant while it is here, and the birds love the berries. But should the shelf swallowtail make the same recovery as the Atala butterfly did on the coontie, this might be one of the future hosts.
So I did notice you have a lot of coontie in your yard. Did you notice any of it being utilized?
Oh yeah, I get lots of Atala butterflies. I don't know if there's any butterflies per se in the yard right now, but there's definitely several of them that have some cocoons on them, but I get quite a few Atalas different times of the year. And I only bought maybe 4 or 5 coontie, but most of them, like this one in particular, is probably the oldest one that I just stuck a seed in the ground, and maybe 6-8 years ago, and it took off and made a nice bushy plant. I've done no watering, no fertilizing, it just does its own thing.
Yeah, you got a lot of texture here, and
yeah, a lot of variety. it wasn't planned. It wasn't this is an interesting. It's one of my favorites for this area. As you can see, the beach is right there, 200 yards away, straight up the. And after the hurricanes, we had a Category 3 come through here, and most all of these plants were pretty shredded up. But both this one and the Darling Plum looked exactly like this after the hurricane. They didn't, no broken limbs, no shredded leaves. It's a lot of tattered stuff. But these plants that are native to the coastal strand areas right along the edge of the beach don't seem to care.
A ton of bees there.
There's all different types of bees. That's probably my biggest bee producing or bee hosting plants, the woolly pyramid flower, and it is hard to get on camera. I've tried several times, but it's always buzzing with honeybees and little different types of sweat bees and different types of flies and wasps are all over that thing. I never have a problem with them stinging. I think, I don't know if they're intoxicated by it or what, but I can always reach up in here and I'll have bees swarming right around my hands. And I don't like getting stung, but I haven't been stung in many years, but they don't seem to care. I think they're just so content with the flowers that they don't sting anybody.
Yeah, I kind of feel that it's a little of a misconception attracting pollinators to the yard. People think that, why would you want all these bees and
They provide
different
food
insects
for a lot of different birds and lizards and such, and they pollinate the flowers, and without pollination of flowers you won't get the berries that set thereafter. And this one especially, Darling Plum, although it's not an overly attractive plant or berry necessarily, and the flowers are nearly invisible. I frequently have mockingbirds that when I walk up here, they'll start squawking.